So some of you say that I need to get a camera holder for this next part of the video, and I've got one off Amazon. It was nice and cheap. His name's Jamal, and he's going to be the one holding the camera for me today. I can get my GoPro, but I'm only going to do visual with my GoPro because I haven't got a mic for it yet, so the audio is going to be shite. I do apologise about that, but yeah, I'll get this patch cut out and we'll get back to you. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe, because if you keep subscribing, then I'll keep doing more videos and you get to learn stuff. So, hope you enjoyed my video. Hit subscribe. Nice one, guys. See you next time. So this is what I just cut out of it. Look, I think it's supposed to have a bolt in the middle, but see that? The other side? Heaps of seam sealer, right? That's nasty shit stuff. So when I weld all this back in, that's going to mean that that's going to want to catch fire on the inside of it. So I'm going to have to be super careful when I weld that top line in, just because I know that's going to A, smoke like buggery, and B, it's going to it's going to want to catch fire. I know it is. Underseal just does. Also, I had a question the other day. What grinding masks do I use? I use these. Look. They're off Something Bay, nice and cheap. They're brilliant. We used to use goggles first. Yeah, stuff gets around the goggles. Then even a big face mask like this. This is the old ones we used to use, grinding masks. Stuff gets around them. And they're so big and clunky, when you're underneath the car, you can't get your head in there to grind. So these ones, I find them, they're absolutely brilliant. They come fog resistant as well. I take the filter out the end there because it's just easier for me. But yeah, for the fact that they're that cheap, they're brilliant. I'd recommend these all day long. Huh? You all right?
Yeah, can I keep going? Well, I just thought because you're filming.
Oh, no. I was actually going to film you grinding. So, yeah, see, that bit there, you've just touched that, so you've moved on, yeah? That bit's still a little bit high. We could go down that bit. That bit you can leave for the buffing pad, I reckon. But yeah, keep working your way up there. No, it's all good. You can carry on, mate. So here we go. I've cut one out from the other, as you can see. This one's got a bit of a bend in it. You see that? So I'm going to have to try and replicate that bend. I might do it in situ though. It's going to take me a little while. I've got my patch cut out now. It's alright, 1 second. I've got my patch cut out now. That's just sitting there. That fits there quite nice. For the people who wanted to see more of how I do it, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to buff all of this rust, all of this crap off here for the underseal, which smokes like anything when you hit it with a grinder. I like to use a sharp wood chisel, the right angle, and it just peels it off all the way. I'm going to Stanley knife a line through it there, peel it off that way, and I should get down to good steel. Same with what I'm going to do up here. This I'm going to hit with the grinder, so you've got to have nice shiny metal all the way around. If it's not perfectly shiny, it won't bond. See, I cocked up a little bit. See, that gap is a bit too big for me. I'm going to have to cut a sliver and put it in there, or cut a whole new patch. Pain in the ass. Measure twice, cut once. Right. Here we go. So I've got this tacked in here. You see, I'm going to need to do a little fillet there. But this is what I do if the patch doesn't quite fit right. So you've got it tacked in 5 places there. You see that? There's quite a gap underneath there. And that's fine. I'm going to do this and show you how I do it, right? So this corner I haven't tacked yet. And there's quite a gap in between. This is the closest this piece of metal gets all the way along here, right? So what I'm going to do, back to the hammer, get that in there. Let me see if I can get a good line. And then push it till it meets. Hold it there, and I'm going to tack that in. Okay, that's tacked in now, and that is nice and flush with the piece of metal. Right, so that's tacked in now, and that's nice and flush with our piece of metal there, right? So then, simply, I just and then your finger will know, careful because it'll still be hot, that is now flush. So today's progress on the 205, we got this panel welded in like we showed you about as well. We've painted all that, haven't got round to this bit yet. That, oh, you can't see that at all, forgive me. Let me get a torch. So that's the patch you helped me with earlier. If you look, that's all been welded in, ground off and under sealed over. It's not finished yet. I need to give it a good stone chip underneath. That's that one. See, somebody might have come a little bit too close to the grinder from the top there. So I'm gonna make another bloody patch. This is just the first coat. It's gonna go on another bunch more coats after this. And then we're going to stone chip the whole wheel arch. I've got that one to do on this side. It's not as bad as it looks, that. That might even not be too big a job. What else have we got? I've got my little filling in patch to do in between here to make it factory, but luckily I've got that side. That's easy enough. My two patches there to do. I've put my big patch in from the back here. This has still not been painted. He's just mixing up some paint for it now over there. But this is where she went from underneath. It's real difficult. I tell you what, oh, bloody paint. Real difficult because I'm using such thick metal to join it to the thin metal of the Peugeot. It's like you really have to focus just on the thick metal and then at the last minute swipe your weld over to the thin metal. It's actually much more difficult to use the thicker metal that I have been using, but hopefully it's going to last a much longer time. You see, I've got that to do down the side there now. I've got let me see if I can do this. See, I haven't quite finished it, and that's not there. So I'm debating now whether to drill through from this side, because I put a lip on my, where are the pieces? So we've got here. Yeah, so I've got a lip there on that piece coming down. I'm not sure whether to drill a bunch of holes here and spot weld it, or just carry on seam welding like I have. I might just carry on seam welding it, to be honest, getting underneath, or maybe there's a chance of doing it from up here. I'm not sure. Look a little bit naff if I do it from up here. The welds will be super visible, but it'll be strong as hell, so I guess maybe that's all that's important. Anyway, as always, going to primer up our bare metal now before the end of the day. It's actually coming together. There's still the one bit. What have I got left to do now? I've got those ones, that one, and that one to do, and the other towing eye the other side. Well, I say to do, that's for the front. I've still got that mess of a jacking point to do. Gonna get onto that in a bit. When I put all the front back together, I'll get that jacket up in the air of this side, right up in the air, and then do those. So my coil spring's under there. I've got one new spring on. One new spring and shock top bearing on that one. I've got to do the other one this side, but customers provide me with all the parts, so that'll be going together again. All new suspension, all new metal. Hopefully it'll drive like a new car. Anyway, I'll get back to you tomorrow with another patch.